Luton Town have just gained promotion to the Premier League, and they did so by beating Coventry City in the playoff final at Wembley last weekend. Now, I'm not here to tell you that you have to go through someone's fucking living room to get into the ground at Luton Town, because every single football social media account has told you that this week. And I'm sure there's going to be more and more videos coming out on it. And yes, Kenilworth Road is tiny. And yes, Kenilworth Road desperately needs an upgrade. But it is what it is. Who gives a fuck? I would rather have 10 Kenilworth Roads in a league over the soulless fucking brand new concrete city stadiums. Give me that sort of character every day of the week. But that's not what we're here to discuss today. I'm here to discuss a young man who nearly made it to the Premier League this weekend. And the fact that he didn't might leave him with a slightly more attractive fee. Because if he was a Premier League player, I think there's an easy 15, 20 million getting slapped right on top of his price. Now, he wasn't successful at the weekend in managing to help Coventry City gain promotion, but he has been very, very successful for Coventry City this season. And his name is Viktor. Not that one. We know all about Osimhen, but this is Viktor Gyokeres. So, and I'm sure I probably butchered that, but Gyökeres is what I'm going with. So, Viktor Gyokeres, Coventry City, 21 league goals to his name this season. He came second in the race for the Golden Boot in the Championship and was a massive part in why Coventry City made that crazy comeback to even make the playoffs in the first place. I don't know how many of you watch the Championship. I catch it infrequently. I try and tune in when I can, but we play when pretty much all the Championship games are playing. And then I have to try and catch up on what's going on in the Premier League ahead of Vibe with 5 before I can even start looking at the Championship. But invariably, I'm entertained when I watch the Championship because I love how tight it is from top to bottom. And just to highlight that fact, Coventry were in 15th place in January and had a rise very similar to that of Aston Villa once they got rid of Steven Gerrard and brought an actual manager in. Then they made the playoff final and ultimately they fell at the last hurdle. But their transformation has been nothing short of ridiculous. And without Gyökeres' goals, they would be absolutely nowhere near. And yes, Manchester United need a striker. Are you actually suggesting that United go and get a striker out of the Championship to try and fire us to League and Champions League glory next season? Not quite. We need two. And I think this guy should be the second of the two. Rashford works better out wide. Apart from maybe this weekend against Manchester City, just keep him away from Kyle Walker, and I think he'd be sound. Weghorst isn't good enough. Tony Marshall sits in the same category, and I think we're going to go out and get a Harry Kane or a Victor Osimhen. I think it would be worth our while to bring somebody else in as well, and I don't think Anthony Marshall's going to stick around. City did it last year. They brought in Alvarez and Haaland, and it worked extremely well for them, I think you could say. If United sign Kane, I think signing another option as well to be able to settle Kane in, rotate him in and out when needed. I think Gyökeres, very versatile number 9 with a style that might tick a few boxes for Erik Ten Hag. And coming from the Championship, especially now that he hasn't got promotion to the Premier League, I think could be quite affordable as well. So, he's Swedish, he's 24 years of age. His value according to Transfermarkt, which doubles the second United get involved, is only 10 million. But even if it does double, and it's only 20 million, he's still a hell of a bargain. So it's his second season with Coventry City, and he's an example of how it can take a little bit of time for someone to adapt to men's football. He started his career at a Swedish club that I'm not going to try and pronounce. Do you know what? Let's try actually. So it's Bromma Podjana. He made 67 appearances and he got 25 goals before he joined Brighton. And now we know how good Brighton's recruitment is. So do we trust Brighton to get it right? Yes, we do. He just won the Golden Boot at the Under-19 Championships with Sweden. And then he spent basically the next 3 seasons out on loan at a handful of different clubs, including German side St. Pauli, hipster fans, Swansea, Brighton again, and then he went to Coventry in 2021 on loan. And it was his second season, last season, where it really began to kick on for him. Last season he got 18 goals and 5 assists, which is pretty good in a very ordinary championship team. Coventry finished bang mid-table in 12th last season. It's way easier scoring better teams, said Michael Owen. But this season, he's gone and kicked on even further. 22 goals and 11 assists across the season, and was only one win away from Premier League football. It's the highest in goal involvement in the whole league. He had 31 goal involvements just in the championship. And he's tall, he's confident, he's got a bit of cockiness about him. He looks like a player that could really thrive if he had other quality players around him. He is a top dribbler. He completed 93 dribbles in the championship, which puts him in the top 5%. He had a lot of goals that came from him dribbling into space where he can then shoot. He was extremely strong on the counter-attack, and I think he would be great linking up the likes of Rashford, Anthony, Sancho. And he has many a time this season turned a defender when winning the ball and then created an attack by just dribbling off. One-man pressing and goal creation machine. He's holding up the ball really well, and you've got to be strong to thrive in the championship, and he does. And his finishing's good as well. He's got great movement in and around the penalty area. He scored a ton of goals, both feet and his head. And the one potential worry that I would say is he has missed the joint highest big chances missed. He's missed basically as many as anybody else in the championship. You can read that in a couple of ways, but it's a fact that you've got to be aware of. As you said, his link up is good as well. Couple that with how he holds onto the ball, how he dribbles with the ball. He brings other people in. Second highest amount of assists in the championship. 2 key passes per game. Really, really interesting sort of second striker I think he could be for United behind a superstar. And I think there's a few reasons why United should look into him. Number one, he's going to be cheap. Even if we say that 10 million is the floor of how much he's worth, 10 to 20 million pound, it's worth the gamble, even with a bit of United tax. Leeds tried to sign him in the summer for around 10 mil, and it looked like it was going to go through for 10 mil, and then it fell apart. If he gets wind of it and starts agitating for a move, it might go through very, very cheap. They did sign Willie Nonso instead. So I think there's something in this. And like I said, I trust Brighton's recruitment. And it could be one of those. Like I said, it's low risk. There's no loss at all whatsoever. I think of this as almost like a Dan James sort of signing where even if he doesn't work out, you probably still make your money back on him. You're going to get a big name forward, but one semi-long-term injury, medium long-term injury, you could be in the shit if you don't bring in 2. And I think he's a real dynamic player that's got a lot of the things that Ten Hag likes. I think he comes in and does bits. I think he comes in and gives United something different off the bench. Now, there's worries. Of course there's worries. This is a player that hasn't played in the Premier League, or is at least unproven in the Premier League. And that's really the main one. It's all well and good doing bits in the Championship, and we have seen plenty of players who've looked good in the Championship and then just continued that in the Premier League. But the Championship is one of the stronger leagues in Europe, and it might even try. I'd love to do the data actually. Does it translate as well as other leagues around Europe? I reckon it's got a pretty good conversion, to be honest with you. Obviously, he's got international experience as well. I think he'd be good enough. I think he's worth looking at. You guys let me know in the comments what you think. I'll see you in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, 5-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.